I mean,
passionate.
really
Yeah.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And I just have to say this. I mean, what resonated with me when you were speaking is all about the empowering of authentic leadership. Your authenticity is really what drew me to you when we connected. And we really, people do love that. It's a key ingredient of resilient leadership power, right? And
Yeah.
in order to have that, you need to have, first of all, your purpose, the fuel. You talk about you being the fuel for your business, right? Because you had that purpose, and that's how you're able to push forward and have the perseverance and have the grit to be able to move forward regardless, right? And just put those self-limiting beliefs aside and draw in from all the positivity, right, of your support
Mm-hmm.
circle, your social network. So in saying that, what is resilience? If you had to define resilience in a few words, what is it to you as a top, executive entrepreneur, an entrepreneur of a major,
Call me
from
whatever
great.
you like. I'm good with it. What is resilience?
Mhm.
Doing it whether you want to or not. Doing it whether you want to or not. Like we had an incredible celebrity on the summit 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she said something, and I was like, oh yeah, I get that. She goes, I had one of those days yesterday. I'm like, peace, sister. It's my topic for May 11th is the stretch of significance. Like you said, I'm authentic. I don't lie. This is when you go and you stretch yourself and you say yes. At any point through this process, I could have said no. We got the invitation to the Emmys. I could have said no. I'm negotiating a deal there, and I'm like, no, we're gonna get that fine, but we got to run it in 48 hours. Okay, you do this enough times that you have enough faith mixed with resilience, and again, I'm very much the ownership falls on me per se. And then for me, when I know that, then I kind of come at it with a pretty diligent way of doing business. Like I'm clear on my mission. I know what I'm doing it for. I know why I get up in the morning. One foot is for the impact I make in the world, and the other one's for my kids, period.
Yep.
Period. Right. So they're my two favorite in all of the work that I do, Saskia. In all the work that I do, I have an agreement with them. If they call me at any time, no matter if I'm having tea with the queen, I will text back, emergency. If they say yes, I interrupt no matter what I'm doing. And so I have criteria. And so that allows me to do what it is that I need to do. So resilience to me is swimming through the ugly stuff if it's ugly, and sailing through the stuff that comes afterwards. It's just whether you like it or not like it. Take responsibility for your decisions and go all in.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that is definitely putting things in perspective right there. So yep, that's a lot. Specific strategies or practices you, Deborah, have found effective in building resilience within your, I would say, empire, because it sounds like an empire, but it's getting there.
Thank you. I think that the universe has put me in resilient. They put me in resilient situations. When I was younger, I lived within the confines of a home, of a family that had a lot of stuff going on. And it wasn't all, lollipops and unicorns. And I know I am so not alone in that situation. And so I think there's been experiences in my life that have pushed me to the extreme of my emotional and mental capacity, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I think we've all had our back against the wall, whether it was financial, whether we just lost our job, whether we realized that we're in a relationship that's not okay, whether we realize that the dynamics in the family are not okay. And so we've had our backs against the wall, and it's drawing on the other side of those, right? I've been through this before. I can do it again. Also getting help sooner. People ask me, have you stayed in business this long? And I'm like, I don't think it's about staying in business this long. I think it's about staying sanely successful this. So like, how did you stay sane when 2009 and 10 came and the market crashed and your business crashed with it? How did you survive and 20 of my colleagues didn't? How did you I grabbed the next thing that came to me. I figured it out. I stayed up late. I got up early. There's no magic to that. There's fatigue and success. There's, I don't know what I'm going to do, to signing 3 deals in one day. Do you know what I mean? Like like there's no rhyme or reason, but you can stack the odds, and the odds around resiliency, or the odds around that, is, for me, I create a baseline. I have a baseline of what a bad day is. And so anything above that baseline is not a bad day, which means I'm going to put my head on the pillow. I mean, here's an example. So my son is now 20, and he would, at around 13 years old, he's going, can we stop doing this, please? So every night he went to bed, since he was a little boy, I would say, okay, tell me something good about me and good about your day, and I'm going to do the same thing.
Yes.
And some of those days were, the best thing about today is that it's friggin' over. I mean, that was the best thing I could think about that day. I'm like, God have mercy, the clock struck 12 and I'm out of here. That was the best thing about that day. A baseline for a bad day, for I'm going to give up day, is that, I got a call and something really unthinkable happened to someone I love, And so if it wasn't that day, then it's going to be okay. So I have a baseline. I have commitments with people that I love and care about. And sometimes, honestly, go to bed. Just go to bed.
So really, in essence, here is the boundaries. You do have boundaries, like you said. And then so you think of it as any adversity or challenge, you transform those into positivity, into opportunities, right? And so everything is like a lessons learned, and you're passing that on to your children as well. That is the best legacy to pass on, because there will be difficulties. There will be lots of challenges. But the key is not how many challenges a person has, is really how they're able to overcome it, right? That is the strength of a leader right there. And you are an awesome representation of leadership. So again, thank you again for being a phenomenal woman.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so with that, I think I just want to just move off into emotional intelligence mastery, which is, I know, an attribute that you really do have. That is a strength of yours. So tell me, how important do you consider emotional intelligence in your role as a, C-suite?
I think emotional intelligence can be segregated into different arenas for me in my life. When I first started doing personal development work, and I'm going to tell you, people like, how have you done this for 30 years? I don't know if there was a time that I didn't have someone in my life coaching me, maybe during the times of me having my babies, but I've either had an expert, a coach, a therapist, a counselor, a group, or what have you in my life, because I had stuff to clean up. I came from what people call kind of dysfunctional. There was some funk, and that funk overlaid some pretty crappy ways of thinking about life, ways of thinking about abundance, ways of attracting people into my life as life partners. Didn't make some of the best decisions because of the wiring. So I had to unwire that. And I didn't just get successful overnight. I mean, that's just, even I had to do this transference of who I am, what I talk about, boundaries, learning boundaries. I realized that I didn't keep my boundary up. You know why? Because how did that thing get through? How did that get through? How did that belief get through, or that person get through into my inner circle? Or wow, even as you start to go through the levels of success, the perception that some people think that something's changed and how they treat you differently. And I mean, that's some of the hard stuff, but I think emotional intelligence really comes down to 2 things for me. Is one, always being willing to learn about who I am and how I function so I can excel or apologize. I'll give you an example. I'm in this crazy project. I mean, I don't need to tell you, it's been 3 years, right now we are in it. When people go, how you doing? I'm like, I'm in it. Like, I'm in it. We put a book, I don't know, did we sleep for 3 days? Like, we're in it. And so my girlfriend called me and she's like, hey, you're like dipping. She's one of my people. And she's like, do you want to come over and do crafts? I'm like, absolutely. I want to come for dinner and I want to do crafts. Now, when she said, okay, come on over, it was a couple Fridays ago at 7:00 at night. I heard a little voice that went, 7 o'clock's kind of late. You're getting pretty tired by then because my day's starting so early because of time zones. But I did it anyway because I really wanted to just go play crafts, like make crafts. And so here I am, run 7 companies and I go do crafts. Okay, there you go. There he is. And so as I was getting closer to the date, I was like, oh man, I probably should cancel. So what happened is I woke up that day and it went all like everything and I sent her a text and said, I don't know if I'm going to make it. She's like, no problem. Just let me know later. I should have closed it down then. And then I let her know later, but I could tell by letting her know later, it wasn't good. And so last couple of days, I was like, she's pissed. I know she's pissed. So it was my job to call and go, I'm sorry, I've been a crappy friend. I've been in this project. I'm dedicated. I'm over the top. It's over the top. I'm super, it's super great. But honestly, I shouldn't have said yes. I take responsibility. I just wanted to craft with you. And I should have made it after May 13th. It's on me. Please accept my apology. That's what I mean by knowing yourself, or walking home and, you got stuff going on and kids are doing whatever, particularly when the kids were younger. And I was like, hey, just to let you know, I'm going to pre-apologize. I'm tired. I've had a big day. I've had this. So if I don't see myself, here's my big apology. And they'd be like, yeah, okay. Right. So I think knowing yourself allows that. The other thing is learning the art of compartment. Now, I get that we all take ourselves wherever we go, but there's a pretty cool CEO technique. Leave your stuff at the door. Leave your stuff at the door. I worked in private health where we were healing people and counseling people and working with their bodies and their emotions. When you got to the office, our stuff was out the door. We meditated before we came to work, and we were servant leaders. So when I come into the podcast with you, I'm a servant leader. I'm saying something that hopefully changes someone's life. Yes. Me not feeling well or blah, 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 the thing that I have to do in an hour, it's over there. It's not here. And that art of container, that art of containment, I think is the CEO technique that allows me to be present and love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. That's my answer to your question.
Wow. Powerful answer, I must say, because I really do agree wholeheartedly with that. If you're present, just be present, right? And just leave the baggage, like you said, at the door, because really everything that you say, people remember, right? Words are powerful. They're very, very powerful words. And so with emotional intelligence and having that capability, you have a good handle and identify and understand your emotions and regulate your emotions. And it's true, that's what we're here for, giving the professional the unbreakable spirit. How do we get that, Saskia? Well, emotion, self-control, mastery, right?